Allport's trait theory. Key concepts. When Gordon Allport stepped into the field of psychology in the early 20th century, the landscape was dominated by the heavy shadows of psychoanalysis and behaviorism. Sigmund Freud had turned the human psyche into a battlefield of unconscious drives, while B.F. Skinner saw behavior as nothing more than a product of external conditioning. But Allport, with his fresh and independent mind, believed that these views missed something essential: the uniqueness of the individual person. He wanted to understand not just why people behave as they do, but what makes one person distinctly different from another. Thus began his lifelong quest to understand human personality through the lens of traits. Born in 1897 in Indiana, Gordon Allport was a keen observer of people even as a child. He was deeply interested in what made his peers act and think differently. Later, while studying psychology at Harvard, he became fascinated with personality as a field that bridges both the biological and the social sides of human life. After completing his doctorate, he traveled to Vienna, where he famously met Sigmund Freud. During their conversation, Allport tried to describe a boy he had seen on the train who was afraid of dirt, suggesting that perhaps the boy had been taught by his mother to avoid unclean things. Freud, however, interpreted the story as a projection of Allport's own unconscious fears. This encounter left Allport somewhat disillusioned with psychoanalysis. He felt that Freud's deep probing into hidden motives often ignored the reality of the conscious, rational self. From that moment, Allport resolved to study personality in its most observable and genuine form, through traits that describe what people actually are and do. Allport's trait theory was his answer to this search for individuality. He defined a trait as a neuropsychic structure within the individual that guides consistent forms of behavior, thought, and feeling. In simpler terms, traits are the building blocks of personality, the enduring characteristics that influence how we act across different situations. While moods and attitudes may change, traits are relatively stable. They give coherence to a person's actions over time. To illustrate, consider two friends, Maria and Lisa. Maria is consistently organized. Her desk is tidy, her tasks are planned, and she meets deadlines with precision. Lisa, on the other hand, is spontaneous and often improvises her way through tasks. According to Allport, Maria's behavior reflects a strong trait of conscientiousness, while Lisa's reflects flexibility or creativity. These traits are not momentary moods, but enduring patterns that shape their overall personality. What made Allport's approach remarkable was his rejection of the idea that all humans could be explained through universal laws, as behaviorists claimed. He insisted that psychology must pay attention to the individual as a whole, not just as a sample in an experiment. For Allport, each person is a unique constellation of traits, and no two personalities are ever exactly alike. Allport proposed three levels of traits, namely, cardinal, central, and secondary. Cardinal traits are the rare, but powerful traits that dominate a person's entire life. They define a person so completely that their name often becomes synonymous with that trait. For instance, compassion defined Mother Teresa, and ambition defined Napoleon Bonaparte. Such traits are uncommon because most people are guided by several traits rather than one overpowering quality. Central traits, on the other hand, are the general characteristics that form the foundation of personality. These are the traits we usually use to describe others in everyday life, such as being honest, shy, intelligent, outgoing, kind. Central traits are not as dominating as cardinal traits, but they are the core essence of who a person is. Lastly, secondary traits are more situation-specific and less consistent. They appear only under certain circumstances. For example, a normally calm person might become irritable when hungry, or a serious individual might show a humorous side among close friends. These traits, though less obvious, still contribute to the richness of personality. Allport also made an important distinction between common traits and individual traits. Common traits are those shared by members of a culture or society, such as competitiveness or collectivism. Individual traits, however, are unique to each person. By emphasizing individual traits, Allport shifted the study of personality from the general to the personal, pioneering what later became known as the idiographic approach to psychology. Another fascinating contribution of Allport was his concept of the functional autonomy of motives. He argued that adult behavior is not always rooted in childhood experiences, as Freud believed. Instead, motives can become independent from their original causes. For example, a man who began working hard as a child to win his father's approval may, as an adult, continue to work diligently, not to please his father, but because he genuinely enjoys achievement. In other words, behavior can become self-sustaining and motivated by present interests rather than past traumas. This idea of functional autonomy reinforced Allport's belief that humans are rational and capable of conscious self-direction. In his major work titled Personality, a Psychological Interpretation, Allport emphasized that the study of personality must balance both the general and the unique. While it is useful to understand broad dimensions of personality, such as introversion and extroversion, the true essence of psychology lies in understanding the individual as a whole person. He encouraged psychologists to use case studies, personal documents, and introspective reports to capture the richness of individual life stories. It is important to note that Allport's ideas laid the foundation for modern personality psychology. Later theorists, such as Raymond Cattell and Hans Eysenck, expanded his ideas using statistical tools like factor analysis to identify dimensions of personality. These efforts eventually led to the development of the Big Five personality traits, namely, openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism, which continue to dominate contemporary research. Yet, it is also important to note that without Allport's pioneering insight, these advancements might never have occurred. As we can see, at its heart, Allport's trait theory reminds us that personality is not just a set of behaviors to be measured, but a dynamic system of enduring qualities that make us who we are. It invites us to see people not as predictable products of their environment or unconscious drives, but as unique individuals with consistent yet evolving patterns of thought and action.